The Korean War is often referred to as the Forgotten War, yet it ran for 3 years and was the first significant battle between communism and capitalism during the early days of the Cold War, the outcome of which continues to shape the Asian political landscape to this day. 5 million people died in the Korean War, mostly civilians. Even today, there is limited focus from the movie world on this war, but here are 3 Korean-made movies on the subject that help bring to life the impact this war had on the Korean people. Number 3, The Battle of Jansari. It's the second movie in a trilogy following Operation Chromite, another Korean War movie featuring Liam Neeson as General MacArthur. Some viewers may find some cliches in this movie, but it's well worth watching just to highlight the true story of the battle. The battle follows 772 student soldiers, averaging just the age of 17, with only 2 weeks of military training. These students participated in a diversion offensive and bloody beach landing, aiding in the success of the real invasion at the Battle of Inchon a day later. Interestingly, Megan Fox plays a role in this movie, and it's one of her better performances and a role where she isn't sexualized. She plays Maggie, a fictional character based on influential journalists Margaret Higgins and Margaret Burke-White. It's surprisingly a subtle casting and doesn't overshadow any of the Korean performances in the movie. The beach landing and combat scenes are well done. They're not blunted, despite the portrayal of child soldiers in this movie. They make the battle scenes particularly poignant, as you are watching fellow countrymen and youth fight each other in a way that may remind some viewers of American Civil War movies. South Korea's government says it conscripted more than 30,000 soldiers between the ages of 14 and 17 for the Korean War. An estimated 3,000 of them gave their lives during the Korean War.
제발 이 전쟁이 빨리 끝났으면 좋겠습니다. 우리 식구들이 너무너무 보고 싶습니다.
저 포로 아닙니다. 그럼 왜 인민군복 입고 있어? 추우니까.
Number 2, The Front Line, set during the 1953 ceasefire of the Korean War. This ceasefire, however, having little meaning for the men fighting in the hills, dividing the line between north and south at the 38th parallel. With the hills changing hands so frequently, those negotiating the peace often don't have a clear picture of the front. The movie has a strong anti-war message, particularly with the climatic battle happening after the terms of the peace treaty have been negotiated, with each side desperately fighting for a few remaining hills before the official time the peace treaty takes effect.
그 회담하는 동안이라도 휴전을 하면 되는데.
The battle scenes in this movie are quick and chaotic, which adds to one of the themes of the movie, which is the ambiguity of the Korean War for many frontline soldiers. Besides the battles, what stands out in this movie is the developed characters and excellent acting, particularly during interactions between North and South Korean soldiers, who often have family members across the divided nation. The movie overall has a very non-patriotic message and speaks to many of the lingering issues within Korea. Number 1, Tae Guk Gi, The Brotherhood of War, follows 2 brothers drafted into the South Korean army at the outbreak of the Korean War. The movie follows many historical significant battles, such as the Battle of the Pusan Perimeter and the city fighting of Pyongyang. The movie gets credit for showing the brutality of war, both from the South and North Korean sides, underscoring a clear anti-war message. The anti-war message in this film is most prominently shown in the relationship between the drafted brothers. Once ordinary people with humble ambitions, their relationship with each other and their family becomes shaped and alienated by this war, in some ways representing the countless families torn apart by this conflict. Tae Guk Gi brilliantly tells the story of the Korean War from a personal and individual experience, rather than a clash of ideologies or a patriotic experience.
김영신이 자익 혐의로 처형된 건 알고 있다.
이진태도 충분히 영향을 받았겠지.
민주주의, 공산주의가 뭔지도 모르는 사람입니다.
At the time of filming, this was the largest Korean production ever, and had record-breaking audiences across Korea. It remains one of the best Korean films ever produced. Thanks for watching this quick recommendation for 3 Korean War movies. I hope you check them out. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.